Bonjour and Dinaway Maganitok. Hi relatives. Wap Canoe Inigo. My name is Wap Canoe. So by now we have done a little bit of the process of figuring out how much money, if any, our business will make by figuring out what our revenue is going to look like and then subtracting from that our expenditures. Now, recently in class we went through the process of figuring out what those expenditures look like. Startup costs, labor costs, operating costs. Man, the bills are piling up. And that puts pressure on the amount of profit that we can make, right? Because if expenses are higher, revenue is the same, profit will go down. So what do we need to do if we can't do anything about those costs? Well, we need to focus on building revenue. And how do we do that? Well, what do businesses do all the time when they want to attract new customers? Advertising. And specifically, there's a term for that we use in the business world. It is called marketing. Yay, so exciting. Now, there's a bunch of different approaches to marketing. And I think first it's kind of helpful to think about what are the forms of marketing that we're familiar with. Well, if you look on TV or you listen to the radio, we're familiar with ads. So advertising. There's also advertising in newspapers and magazines and on the internet. So you have ads on TV, radio, the net, and in print. And each of those is a different level of effectiveness. And it depends also on what industry you're in. So for instance, if you're thinking about Safeway shopping, well, then a print ad in a newspaper is probably more effective as far as getting customers to come out and take advantage of the special that you have going on. However, if you're thinking about selling the world on a new fashion label, then maybe an ad in a magazine might make more sense. Rock concert, probably going to want to go radio. So again, it depends. But there's other forms of advertising as well, other forms of marketing, I should say. There is another form called direct mail marketing, right? And this is flyers, junk mail, so to speak. Now, we call it junk mail, but there's a reason people do it, and it's because it works. The idea behind it is basically it's so cheap to send out a flyer to everybody that it's outweighed by the fact that you only need one or two people to respond to that flyer to make it worth your while. So those are all different forms of marketing. Now, in the past, there was a pretty straightforward view of marketing called the 4 Ps. And they were product, promotion, price, and place. And while this is old school marketing, it still is good for us to keep this in mind when we're thinking about marketing, all right? So product, that's basically letting the customer know what it is that you're offering. Promotion is to increase awareness about your company's existence. Price is to let the customer know what you charge, how much they can expect to pay. And place is, of course, where you are located. Now, depending on what sort of business you're in, each of these is going to be have a different level of importance, and you're going to want to tailor your marketing effort towards those things. So, for instance, if you are looking at opening up a retail shop, skateboarding or sporting goods, place is going to be important. If you're looking at doing a high-end hair salon, well, then probably the actual product or promotion of your business is going to be more important. So it makes sense to think about those. Now, marketing is something that you're engaged in as a business person because you want to increase revenue. You want to increase your client base, right? But there's two sides to the relationship. So there's you, the business person, who's on the other side of it? Well, that is the client or the market. You'll remember that a few weeks ago we went through focus groups and you guys started to figure out what your market looks like. So by now, you should have an idea of what your target market looks like. How old are they? How much money do they make? What area of the city do they live in? What are their interests? Do they like long walks on the beach? All of those things you should have a good idea of. Now, when you're designing your marketing, this target market, this target person, is who you are aiming your marketing at. So now that you know a bit about their habits and a bit about what they look like, you can tailor your marketing campaign to what they like. If you're going to do a high-end hair salon and you know that your target market is probably women, middle-aged, professional, who also like attending the symphony. If you know that, are you going to use heavy metal music in your advertising campaign? No. If you were doing a salon that was geared more towards younger people with more eccentric tastes and brighter hair colors, maybe in that case it would make sense. But you tailor your marketing effort to what is going to respond to your customer, right? And now, having engaged in advertising and marketing for a very long time, marketers are getting more and more savvy. And they're understanding that not only is it about the 4 Ps, sometimes it's about a bigger picture than that. And so you may have heard of the term branding. So oftentimes it's about communicating your brand, not just the products or service that your company offers, but what is it that your company stands for. So for instance, when you see this, you probably have an emotional connection with that. You know, the Nike swoosh probably communicates to you speed, achievement, athleticism, fitness. When you see the Apple logo, you probably think iPhone, iPad, cool technology, stuff that's easy to use, communications. When you think of Walmart, and you see that logo, you probably think what? Cheap stuff and lots of it, right? Those are each brands. And through our interaction with the marketing campaigns behind each of them and the experiences that they've created for the customers who use their products, they've cultivated a brand identity. But what's really important for us to think about when we want to think about branding is to think about what underlies the brand. And there's a very smart marketing expert, Terry O'Reilly, who has a great series called O'Reilly on Advertising and Age of Persuasion on CBC Radio. He likes to point out that branding is really about a promise. So you make a promise through your marketing campaign to your target market. And it is one that resonates with them and it appeals to them. So Apple, let's use this example. So Apple, when they started to turn their ship around and started releasing iMacs and PowerBooks and MacBooks and stuff like that, they made a promise to their customers, right? And the promise was that these computers are different. There are the computers that everyone uses at work, the IBM clones that run Windows. That's okay for the 90% of the population who's a cookie cutter clone. But for the 10% of the population who are the real creative, outstanding, original people, well, you need a different kind of computer. You need to think different. You need an Apple computer. So as you're watching this ad, please think about what is the company's brand and how do they communicate that brand by making a promise to their target market. And hopefully, while you're doing it, you'll also think about what your company's brand is. What is the promise that you want to make to your target market? And then you can start cooking up brilliant marketing campaigns like this Mac versus PC thing that ran for Apple a few years ago. Miigwech, and enjoy.
Hello, I'm a Mac.
And I'm a PC. What are you reading?
Just the Wall Street Journal, it's nothing. Oh, no. A PC, you know what?
Oh, it's a review of you.
Don't read it.
Oh, it's from Walt Mossberg, one of the most respected technology experts on the planet. Apparently you're the finest desktop PC on the market at any price. Very nice.
It's just one man's opinion.
I actually got a great review this morning, too.
Oh,
and they said I was awesome.
Good for you.
And so we're the same.
Yeah, what was that in?
The Awesome Computer Review Weekly Journal.
Hello, I'm a Mac.
And I'm a PC. We've got a little network going here, and it was very easy to set up.
We speak each other's language.
We share our internet connection and all sorts of things we do together. Who's this now? What's...
Oh, this is that new digital camera from Japan. Just came out. Hajimemashite.
はじめまして。
Yoroshiku onegaishimasu.
Wait. You speak her language?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Everything just kind of works with a Mac. Arigato.
ねえねえねえ、
Yeah.
誰のさ、オタクっぽくない？
So?
Buongiorno. Hello.